Hi, welcome to GVTV. I'm Sheena Tracy here with my co-host Eddie Mackewich, and today we have a very special guest. For the first time ever, Grandview is starting a football program, and today we have the head coach, Mike Woodley. Mike, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
being here.
So tell us, why did you choose Grandview?
Wow, it's a long story, but I'd coached in the state for pretty much my whole career and had left the area about 4 or 5 years ago. And athletic director here, Troy Plummer, is really good friends with my sons. And originally, I was used on an advisory capacity to help Troy hire the new coach. And I'd come back up here last summer for Father's Day, and I think he had a hidden agenda. So when I got over here, he takes me and he tours me around the campus, and I visit with financial aid, Diane Johnson in admissions, and numerous people. And by the end of the day, I'm saying to Troy, I said, geez, I wouldn't mind having this job, but I still didn't have my mind made up.
Yeah.
Well, then the president was on vacation, and I'm here for a week after Father's Day, getting ready to head back to Houston, and Troy called and said, could I stay an extra day and meet with the president? And so I said, yeah, I will. And I was so impressed with President Henning that when I did leave that visit and found out what kind of a commitment he really had to this, and that it was actually his idea and not the athletic department's idea to start a football program, it really impressed me, and I really liked him. I thought he had a vision. He wanted to go forward and truly make a real commitment to making us a competitive football program. So I felt with all those things in place, why not? Mm-hmm. And then, that was one reason. And it was fairly a family motivated deal too. I have 3 sons that live in the area and 3 grandsons, and Mom and I were a long ways from here, in Houston, Texas. So we decided to do it, and here I am, and enjoying every minute of it.
Good.
Cool. Could you maybe just give us a couple maybe short-term goals for the program? Because I know it's hard to start a program from scratch. And then maybe just a couple long-term goals that, like starting small and then, working up to something.
Well, I think most of us are fairly goal-oriented, and I believe in some short-term goals, just like you say, and then, looking for that light at the end of the tunnel. Mm-hmm. First thing we had to do, and my first goal was try to make this an attractive place and in recruiting. And because the name of the game in all these competitive sports is recruiting good athletes and good people. And so that was the first thing I wanted to do, is make sure we could make this place attractive enough with the support of our athletic director and president, with the new facilities that are being put in place. I thought that was the best thing we could do right off the bat, was hit the road running and recruit football players and student athletes. So when I say that, I truly believe in the student athlete, and they're coming here for their education first, and football will be quite secondary, to be very honest with you. But that was my first goal, was we got to hit the ground running recruiting. We had to get, and that was the biggest goal, and it still is one of our goals right now. Long term, I have one major one, and that's I want to win, and I want us to win an NAIA national championship. And I really believe that can be done. I coached at St. Ambrose for 5 years. We turned that program around, Eddie, and it was quite a coup at the time. We had probably one of the biggest wins in the history of St. Ambrose when we upset a 1AA school, Western Illinois, back in '93. So I felt, looking at the situation here, Des Moines being attractive for student athletes, that this was kind of a sleeping giant, so to speak, at the NAIA level. So those are basically a short-term goal and a long-term goal that I really believe can happen here.
So when you're recruiting athletes, what do you look for in an athlete?
Well, I was taught somewhere along the line that you're going to recruit good character kids. So number one, I want to recruit good character kids, and obviously talent. And if I'm going to make a mistake, I'd rather make it in the talent than in the character, because I want to recruit young men that will represent our campus, represent their families, represent our football program in a positive way. So I guess talent, great character first, talent are the things that I'm looking for. Obviously, there's other things that are involved. You know, you have to have some references from their high school coaches, other people that coach against them. I'm a pretty good researcher, so to speak, and I try to find out as much as I can about each kid that we're going to recruit. And I think I had a reputation anyway. I don't know if it's still there. When I was at Iowa State of being a good recruiter and building our walk-on program at Iowa State, and the same thing that we did at St. Ambrose, because you got to recruit good kids first and then recruit the athletes with great attitudes, and I think you can be successful that way. I don't know if I answered your question.
You did.
We're talking about the athletes. Exactly, I mean in ballpark, how many players do you have here? And then I guess I know a big looming question is, when's practice going to start? When are we going to see these guys hit the field? Well,
currently, you know, when we were looking at our recruiting base and what we were trying to do, because we're going into a varsity schedule, not a JV, we're not going to be a club team, we are going to hit the road running with a varsity schedule next year, a 10-game schedule. So I needed to recruit some junior college kids. So currently we have 13 scholarship kids on campus that came in at semester time. And then there was about 8 or 9 kids here on campus already that have joined us. So we got a nucleus right now of a little over 20 kids. And that is basically where we've started right now. And we've got an off-season program running currently. And the kids are working hard, and we just got to get a lot more kids in here. And our goal is probably around 50 to 60 kids to come in this first recruiting class. And that's kind of exceeded my expectations, to be honest with you, Eddie. We're getting more kids than I thought we were going to get, and the interest has just been great.
Awesome. Well, we have the helmet right here, and it's awesome, but do you have the uniforms and stuff, or what does that look like?
Yeah, well, I've spent most of the fall listening to vendors try to sell me different things. I think anybody that's ever sold anything has been in my office and trying to sell me uniforms. And it's really interesting because, you know, we're a small college, but I had Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, Russell, all these different uniform makers trying to sell us, you know, because it's going to be a big order for the first time. And but we've gone to a uniform will be identical to the Ohio State University. So it's you know, our colors here are red and white, but we have an accent of gray and black that we can use in our scheme. So it's kind of a funny story here how we decided on going with that Ohio State look. My youngest son, Joey, who is going to coach with me here, he plays that game PlayStation.
Oh. Yeah,
he's got this big screen in his basement. He's got a TV, I don't know, one of them 60-inch jobs. And we were down there in August, and all the boys were in. We were all together for 1 week there, right in August. And so you can build uniforms on this game.
Really?
So they got every uniform of every college in the United States on the screen, and we're just running through them trying to find red, white, and with a little black or a little gray. And it came down to the final 3, which was Ohio State, University of Georgia, and Washington State, of all places, you know, where my son coaches. And finally they liked the helmet better at Ohio State, so that's what we went with. So
it's a cool helmet.
That's how we came about deciding our uniform. Of course, then we had to get that okayed with Troy Plummer, our athletic director, and he was ecstatic. He thought that was great. And of course, when I think of Ohio State, I think of a real winning program, a tradition, and at a lesser level, we would like to follow that path.
Well, I also noticed while I was doing some research on you that all 4 of your sons are coaches.
Yeah, they're not very smart. My oldest son, Brian, is the head football coach out here at Johnston,
Uh-huh.
and he's been there for about 5 years. And my youngest son, Joey, was his assistant out there for 2 years. And also Joey had coached, when he graduated from Iowa State, he went to St. Ambrose and was a graduate assistant over there for 2 years. And then my, excuse me, my second oldest son, Matt, is a basketball coach out at Washington State University.
Mm-hmm.
And then Andy, my third son, he's the head basketball coach at Iowa City High over in Iowa City.
Mm-hmm.
Boo Hawkeyes. But, and he's currently got the #1 ranked team in the state and in Iowa City. So the boys have done good, done well. I'm proud of them, and I guess they chose coaching because they enjoyed growing up around it and the people they had their associations with. So they're all fairly competitive, and they were all pretty good athletes back in their day.
We know you got a pretty good extensive history yourself on being a good athlete. We know that you played semi-pro baseball for a while and some semi-pro football. Mm-hmm. And we know all your family used to be good athletes. So who's the best athlete in your family?
I think I am. No, it was a whole different era, but we've all been involved in all the sports. We just didn't specialize in one. I kind of impressed upon the boys to stay competitive, and they were all 3-sport kids in high school, and I was also, and I always believed that was better than specialization, and I think it worked out for them. 3 of the 4 got Division I athletic scholarships. They were all pretty good students, not A students, but they put a lot of time in, and they worked very hard at achieving, and proud of them for the fact that they knew how to work. And I think that's what's helped them be successful in what livelihoods they've chosen to go into, and impacting kids and being around kids. And that's the biggest part of why you do it. You're competitive, but you enjoy your interaction with the kids and your fellow coaches and parents and those types of groups.
Well, you've been coaching for many years, so was it hard to coach and go see your sons play?
You know, it really wasn't a problem until I coached at Iowa State, and our schedule at Iowa State, those just about 9 years I was there, was fairly overwhelming, and I missed a lot of what the boys were doing in their activities. But I mean, there was many nights when they were playing college basketball, I'd get back and I'd drive to Wichita, or I'd drive to Illinois State, or drove to Indianapolis one night to a Hoosier Classic, had to get back up the next morning, go to work. But, you know, there's sacrifices involved on both sides. You know, you support your children all the way through, do it the best way you can, and couldn't be there for all of them. Now, my wife was always there. You know, she's a champ. She did those things when I was absent. So I think most of us as parents try to do that and support their kids.
Well, I know we're getting ready to wrap it up here. First season starts next year?
This fall.
This fall. We all look very forward to watching you guys play, and we're very excited. I know we speak for the whole Grandview community when we say that we're excited to see us win, and we know that you can do it.
Definitely.
Well, I hope you're right, and I think it's going to be a good year, and I know it's going to be I'm not much of a pessimist, okay? I'm a very optimistic person, and I know we're embarking on something here that's going to be big for our whole school, really. It gives us another activity to be involved with. But, you know, and it'll be a challenge for our program in this first year, but I think we'll be up for it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being on our show, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate the time.